before E.A.T, the artist and industry question was the most important one. Because if you didn't have the backing of industry, you had nothing. The engineers themselves did, of course, what they wanted, but basically you needed recognition. And that recognition is coming today, a lot more. And that's the big difference, I think, more than anything. And if that recognition is coming today, then it is even more important that the engineers understand. Because what's the difference if the corporations understand and the engineers do not?
So it's really almost like...
There is an enormous danger here, and that is that you will get some kind of corporate art situation, to which, of course, the artist will object anyway. But if that happens, then the engineers will be lost, because the artists are going to continue working whether industry is involved or not, or whether the engineers are involved or not.
Yeah, but I think what is very, very important for that is that I always observe that the risk, the big risk, is that actually in this context of technology, also technology museum, there is a certain kind of specialized technology art, which is very corporate, which is not necessarily the great art of its time. And this kind of art is embraced very easily by engineers and by corporations, whilst the really important artists of that time, and I think that's what is the main, what makes it so important, what you did is that you brought together engineers and the most important artists of our time.
What the difficulty is, as you say, if you codify it in a building or in a environment like that, you're really doing two things. One is that you are making, say, industry and engineers understand what you're talking about. So on that side, you're doing propaganda and you're doing what is necessary for them to educate them. And this is very important. On the other hand, you're codifying and turning away artists and turning away creativity. So you were sort of caught in between these two things. And this is why I said to you right away from the beginning that I like to make an exhibition in your space, because I think that's the only way that you might be able to break out of that.
To make it happen.
Because you won't know what my exhibition is going to be like.
Another question is about the museum and your relationship to museums, because I mean there has been a very strong involvement of yours in the Moderna Museet with Pontus Hultén in Stockholm. If you could tell me about this, and also about your relations to American museums, because in a certain way, now museums more embrace these more technological concepts, I would say, of art. But I could imagine that there was also some resistance, of museums in the 60s or 70s. I mean, were the relations with museum easy, or was it complicated in your history?
I find it very easy to work in museums. I never find any problem. You got to get the work done. The opening happens, and when it happens, you got to be ready, and everything's got to be clean. And the labels are going to have to be on the wall, and everybody has to be ready, and that's the way it is. And I don't see that as a big... that's the way it is. As far as working with individual people, there are always people who are willing to help you if you need help. Very few, I don't know, I can't remember if there ever been conflicts or anything. Even though, I mean, the curators, the new generation of curators have to learn how to deal with these works. And that's going to be a challenge.